Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short.
The Pittsburgh Steelers played the Dallas Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. Two pretty recognizable franchises. It's kind of cool that they actually just got those guys in for the game because they're pretty iconic teams, and it seems right, or at least fitting for the Hall of Fame game, right? So we just watched that, and I'm just ready to hear some of your thoughts. We finally have some football back. I was really excited to watch it, and I enjoyed the game, even though the final score didn't end up being too close.
Yeah, the game was fun to watch. I mean, any football being back is fun to watch. Uh, and I do like how the broadcast did play into the iconic teams, and they talked about NFL films for a little bit, and they had that old footage rolling. I was expecting your favorite Steelers clip to get played there, but it didn't.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I mean, no real star players were in there. I don't even think the Cowboys had a single one of their top three receivers touch the field. But it was a fun game.
I agree. I really enjoyed that, and I did enjoy the NFL films aspects of it as well. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't play my favorite Steelers clip, but I mean they played some pretty similar ones that were also pretty good, so I can accept it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the rest of the game? How the actual players played?
Well, the first thing that I noticed, and this was the main thing that I watched out for, was Dallas's linebacker rotation. Just to see how they were getting those guys in, and it lasted until like late into the third. They still had like Jabril Cox and some guys that are competing for starting jobs out there playing. Um, yeah, I like it. It's smart. They need to get those guys in. Micah Parsons really stopped seeing action after the first quarter, but even like Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch were playing into the second. And I was like, what are they doing? I'm like, they really have no idea what they're doing here with the linebacker position, do they? All that they know is Micah Parsons is designated pass rusher.
Do you think that Jabril Cox is actually competing for a starting job? Because the concept, or really what I got from the game last night, is like, oh, he's not being considered for a starting spot at all after what I saw last night.
He was getting rotated out there right at the start. I mean, he had a couple snaps on the field with Jalen Smith and Micah Parsons. I don't know what that means for Leighton Vander Esch, but if he were to replace anyone in that linebacker core, it would probably be Leighton, just because he's good at covering. He's not really good at much else. So
Yeah,
probably give her the middle guy.
he's interesting. It was interesting to see what they did with Micah though too, because he got moved
Oh yeah.
around a ton. He didn't just stay like dead center at one of the main two off-ball linebacker positions, but he was lining up on the edge too, which I mean we like because we think that he was a pretty good pass rusher, and he ended up recovering that fumble, and then the NFL decides to post. I'm not sure if they posted on more than just Instagram this, but they posted on Instagram. Micah Parsons already out here making plays because when the other team fumbles the snap and you just fall on it because it's literally right at your feet. It's like, oh, what a big play! You made a huge play there. I thought that was funny. Here,
Yeah, he was really fast. I mean, that Ray McLeod sweep, the first one, not the one that was fumbled on, but he just got there so fast, and I was like, oh, it looks like Ray could turn the corner here, and he definitely could have if it wasn't Micah Parsons.
yeah, I was really surprised. One of the things I wrote about last night, in some notes I was taking, I was just like, I can't believe how well these guys are tackling. There were so many opportunities last night where I felt like there were guys should have slipped away or gotten away from guys on like caught the edge or anything. So many. And I can't remember a single time that really a guy broke a tackle that I thought he was gonna break. I can't even remember a single like guy like shutting off a tackle. I was really impressed just because so early in the preseason they haven't tackled yet. How the heck are they tackling so well? But both teams really did bring guys down really well.
Yeah, I mean, the defenses were tackling well, but Antoine Turner, he had that fumble recovery, and they couldn't bring him down for the longest. It took a 300-pound offensive lineman running straight into him to take him down. I thought that was funny. I'm like, geez, I mean, he didn't get far. He got probably 15 yards after he picked up the fumble. But I was like, oh, he's gonna go all the way because he broke like 5 tackles right to start.
I know what you mean. I was like, whoa, dang, look at that guy go. He's playing on the wrong side of the ball. Yeah, here I got a lot of stuff to hit actually still. So let me start
Yeah.
going. Um, I'm surprised these teams have actually been able to move the ball this well. There were past years where this game was like constant three and outs because neither team is like prepared or ready by the time they get there. So yeah, it wasn't a high scoring game, but I didn't feel like either of the teams were slow moving the ball at all, which was really nice, especially for how much the latter string players are playing in the game.
Yeah. I mean, defense usually starts out fast first, in camp and everything, so they get the jump start with that. And even when it comes to hitting, they get the advantage in that too. But the offenses were moving well, especially with the quarterbacks that were out there. Which that's one of the main things I want to talk about. Uh, I mean, I think Josh Dobbs was probably the best quarterback for the Steelers last night. And it might be because he was playing the worst competition out of the three, but he looked. Granted, this is probably like his fifth or sixth year in that offense, not straight, but total. Um, he looked smooth in the pocket. He looked like he actually knew where his reads were. He wasn't freaking out. Dwayne Haskins was kind of skittish there to start, and I mean, I don't blame him. He's still learning the playbook. And also, if I'm behind the Steelers O line, yeah, I'm gonna be freaking out. I'm gonna die. Which they were not blocking anyone. They weren't. That offensive line was not blocking anyone. But out of the three Steelers quarterbacks, I think Mason Rudolph looked the worst, and he was playing with the most starters.
I think Rudolph and Haskins looked pretty similar. I actually did think Dobbs looked the best too, which was kind of interesting. They've got a cool battle going on back there. But also, speaking of Steelers quarterbacks, Stephen A. Smith, he's ready. He's ready to come out of his cave and say, "I told you so," because he's freaking out because Dwayne Haskins carried one time with about three
Oh yeah,
minutes left in the second quarter for about a 5 yard gain. Stephen A. is like, I told you
yeah.
guys."
I told you he's more of a runner than a thrower. Yeah, still holding on to that 3 years later.
Yeah, I thought that was very entertaining. Here's two of one of our biggest hype men of the offseason notes. Presley Harvin. I've never seen a punt drop that dead at the 1 yard line. I can't believe that. That thing just sat. The only time I've seen a ball like stay that still, like not backtrack or go forward at all, is when that one punt in the Steelers Dolphins game when it was like completely just destroyed the field because it was
Yeah.
raining and muddy and it just stuck in the field. That was amazing. But also every Joe Buck said twice on the broadcast, he said 254 and then continued, but he was talking about Presley Harvin when he was saying this. And I both times I thought he was going to say 254 pounds, and I was like, don't cut him short. He's 255. And then I realized he was saying 254th pick in the draft. I was like,
Oh.
okay. It's like don't take any weight away from him. So, any thoughts on Presley Harvin besides that?
Absolutely love Presley Harvin. I mean, I wrote in my notes at the end of it, just recapping everything. Presley Harvin may single-handedly lead the Steelers to more than 3 wins.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, no, I thought I liked what I saw from the Steelers. Also, I'm gonna start running through some stuff quick, and maybe then you just want to go back and just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. So Malik Turner made a ton of nice grabs. The new helmet Danucci is wearing looks like there's a permanent mouth guard like stuck in the upper part of it. I just thought that looked really ugly, but I'm sure just like everything, I'll get used to it. Wonder what's up with Claypool. He had that nice deep reception, but didn't like him not catching that ball with the safety coming down. That post route that basically the safety had like 5 steps still, and I know he saw him out of the corner of his eye, but I didn't like that he didn't catch that ball. I thought he advanced enough last season that that's a ball he would catch normally, but he just didn't.
Think it's a Hall of Fame game business decision there of I'm not really going to risk getting cracked here. I'm just gonna
And then
not catch it.
and then he lays out for the 45-yard
Yeah, that's
reception to
what I
hurt
didn't
himself.
understand that either when it happened. I was like, okay, so you're not going to like make this catch where you're going to get hit right after, but you're gonna dive out and hurt yourself. So I didn't get that.
Fair enough. Also, we two guys we pointed out as guys to watch, Roche and Alex Highsmith, both got sacks last night. Matthew Sexton was not a guy we talked about, but he made a few good plays, especially the punt return. Sam Sloman started off slow, but he got better as the game went along. You expect really crappy kicking from the preseason, so I guess that should be fine. I stopped paying attention to Ray McLeod with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter, but I thought it was hilarious that there's 90 guys on the team and he managed to play 2/3 of this game. Kalen Balaj also had one carry where I think he should have bounced it outside earlier, but he looked great out of the backfield. Like I said, he was the guy from LA that I thought was a great signing for them, and I really couldn't believe how long like it took him to get like sort of touches in this game, because it just the way they were playing it, it felt like he was the number 3 back when I really think he should have been the number 2 back. And based off how he played last night, I feel like at least for week 1 of the preseason, not week 2, week 1, because this game doesn't really count, he should be the number 2 RB. So that's how I feel. I feel like he played pretty well, and I think he should get that opportunity to be the number 2 RB. And I'm actually shocked how well these teams tackled tonight. I already said that. CeeDee Lamb's dreads look awesome just because I love the tips of them, how they're like iced up. They match the Cowboys pants. I think that's amazing. He went with like a secondary color to match it. Also, I don't know why, but I usually remember him wearing like a grill in his mouth. I don't know if I'm like making this up in my mind, because then I googled it and I couldn't find any pictures of him with like a gold grill in his mouth, but I swear I remember that. But he has some nice looking teeth, because I swear he was hiding them before.
Oh yeah.
He's a great face on camera.
Yeah.
And and my last note is basically what you said already. I just think the Steelers QB depth is really solid. Yeah. So what else do you got?
All right. So I'm just gonna go through here. Some of the stuff I wrote down, I'm not going to talk about, but Garrett Gilbert with the start for the Cowboys. I mean, obviously it's going to be Dak in the regular season, but I don't know why. I was just thinking Ben DiNucci had that starting backup spot, had the backup spot locked up, but Orlando Apollo's legend, Garrett Gilbert has it. Might lose it though. Surprised Cooper Rush is on the Cowboys. I thought he was on the Rams for some reason. I just didn't think he was on the Cowboys at all. And then I was like, wait, what? I checked his Wikipedia page. I'm like, oh, he was on the Giants practice squad all of last season. So I was right. He wasn't on the Cowboys, but I was like, yeah, because he would have played last season. Trey Norwood had a great pass breakup on third and goal. So another rookie making plays. Every rookie that made a play, I had to keep tabs on that. You love to see it. Cedric Wilson had some good catches on the second drive for the Cowboys. Second quarter, Cooper Rush is still on the Cowboys. That was the first thing I wrote when he got in the game. I was like, what? Haskins put the ball on the money. Yeah, there were times at that start of the second quarter, the first 3 passes that Haskins had put him right on the money, and the guys dropped him. And I was like, oh, geez. There are going to be people saying that he's bad, which he didn't play fantastic, but he didn't play bad either. It was just like there were a couple balls that got away from him, but for the most part, I'm like, yeah, most of these balls are on the money. And showing that athleticism too, because he's more of a runner than a thrower. I still can't believe Stephen A said that. Yeah, the Cowboys having their punter kick for them, not a smart idea. Because when I was like, oh, Nicewander's kicking, he's a punter, isn't he? Yeah, he's a punter. And I'm just, oh, Shank, oh yeah, he definitely hasn't kicked since high school or at all, because he was just shanking everything. Sexton had the nice return. Terrible kicking still continued all the way throughout the game. I thought it would have ended at half. I thought, maybe Mike McCarthy was like, all right, we need to switch some things up here when he makes it feel. Nope, just keep sending him out there. Uh, Sean Wright looked really good. He looked really good. 40, which weird corner number 40, but 6'4" in length. And he was keeping up with all the guys, and he played throughout the like all the way to the third quarter. And then they said that he started training camp as the number 2 corner on the depth chart. I was like, oh, this guy drafted in like the 5th round.
I was like, what? I don't even remember looking at him. 6'4" though. I was just so like thinking. I was like only thinking about that. I'm like, I've seen like one cornerback while I've been alive playing the NFL at 6'4". How the heck is this gonna work? Like, I mean, it could work. I wasn't paying as much attention to him as you were, but yeah, no. The one time I saw him make a play, I was like, what? It's a freak.
Yeah, yeah. And if he's the number 2, I'm not really going to complain about that because if we can have Stephon Diggs' little brother and also some freakazoid that's 6'4" on the other side just running with guys, that'd be awesome. Tyler Simmons receiving touchdown. Nice. Good job, Tyler Simmons. Brad Eagles cannot be tackled. That was the other thing too. I like that the Eagles have a guy on their team named Dallas, and the Cowboys have a guy on their team named Eagles. But he was just getting dragged by his undershirt for like 15 yards, and he was still running. So love to see that. Abdullah Anderson killed Ben DiNucci on like the second to last play. Just murdered him. I was like, there is no need for that. This game is over. But DiNucci must have not realized that the game was over because he had that nice run, which was actually the second to last play of the game, to get him the first down before he then got killed throwing the ball again for an incompletion.
It's funny watching just the games again to get used to like guys getting hit. I'm just like so like annoyed watching. Specifically I hate like watching guys like get wrapped up around the legs or get hit in the legs or anything like that. Hate anything that could involve like a knee bending backwards. So it's just always fun to get used to that again.
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe, like, I understand the Pro Bowl is different, but I feel like for the Hall of Fame game, the players should just agree, like, hey, can we just wrap up and, once you stop me, I'll stop. But then you got guys that are fighting for a playoff or fighting for a roster spot, or like, I am going to hit you as hard as I can to make this really pop on tape.
Yeah. Anything else?
I mean, I liked the lack of penalties that were called. I mean, there were times where maybe offensive pass interference should have been called, but again, it's the Hall of Fame game. I think in a regular season game that's going to get called, hopefully. I mean, the one on Claypool probably should have gotten looked at a little bit more, or that wasn't called on Claypool. But Troy Aikman and Joe Buck were just like, oh yeah, that looks clean. And you could see his wrist just bend as he's pushing off the guy. They're like, yeah, that's a clean catch. I'm like, oh geez, you guys are still in preseason form as well. The only thing about Troy Aikman and Joe Buck is they stay in preseason form all throughout the regular season.
I will give them a slight benefit of the doubt on this one because I don't think they were talking about the push off itself. I think they were talking about whether he like
the
maintained
ball not hitting the ground.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. He pushed off of him. That should have been a flag. So, yeah.
Yeah. The last thing, I think they should have just had a mic on Calvin Johnson all game. So whenever there was like a questionable catch or just any catch in general, just bring it to him and be like, Calvin, what do you think? And he just like gives a thumbs up or a thumbs down or something. Like
it's just a slant from like the team's own 20 for a 5-yard gain, and he just signals touchdown every time. All right, that everything. I think we gave a pretty detailed response to what happened in this game last night. Y'all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut it here.